Well, good morning. Thank you very much for coming out. My name is Vernon Lawson. I'm the Economic Development Director for the city, and I couldn't be happier. In our business, these things don't happen every day, and when they happen, we want to celebrate them to the full extent. And as you'll hear today, this is kind of like the quintessential success story from an economic development context at a time when everybody in the United States is talking about jobs, jobs, jobs. The fact that they're happening here in the city of Lancaster is really a big deal. Well, as the MC, I'd like to introduce our panel, or our speakers. First here is Jack Cole, and we'll hear from him. Jack is the president of the company and somebody I've been proud to call friend for 25 years. Next to him is our vice mayor, Mr. Marvin Christ, who you'll see with his community involvement, there's a definite intersection with successful companies like this. And then we have Lisa Moulton, who's with Senator Knight's office. And then perhaps in her first public appearance, maybe not, Donna Tremere. Of course, Donna's been in town forever, but she is now the new chief deputy to Supervisor Catherine Barger. It's hard to forget after 30 years. Jack has a unique story, and you'll hear me say a couple more things about this, but today they sit in a 110,000 square foot building and they have 500 employees. 500 employees in the city of Lancaster that have been hired out of the labor force in the city of Lancaster. And with the announcement for today, it's my pleasure to introduce our Vice Mayor, Marv Christ.
It's a big day for Lancaster. We're going to add 150 new jobs. The county's here to take credit for it. Congress is here to take credit for it. But we all know that it's being local. And I'll tell you a little story about being local is. If you see that trailer over there, the fifth wheel, the Sheriff's Department came to the Sheriff Boosters and asked us if we would buy them a trailer. It was a trailer that was over the hill. It wasn't built locally, and we told them no, that it would have to be built here. So we went over to Jack. We asked Jack if he'd build it for us. He said, yeah, give me what it was. It took about 50 sheriffs to determine what was going to take place inside that, but they took out the bedroom, they rewired the whole thing. It has satellite, but that's a new command post for the city of Lancaster, and when we have emergency events, that's what we use. And thanks to Jack, it was built here, and it was purchased here, and it was worked here. That's why we can add 150 new jobs to our workforce. So let's give him a big hand. I was looking over all these statistics, and it's very proud that 70% of Lance's business comes from these trailers, and 60% up 60% every year, year after year. We have to expand. It's a great day in the city of Lancaster.
So everybody will understand the statistics. The 500 existing jobs I mentioned, this is another 150 jobs. And it was funny, when we were taking a tour of this building with Jack the other day, he looked at me and he said, well, you know, it could be 250. But I think that speaks a lot to the gentleman I'm about to introduce. He's not boastful. He certainly doesn't kid about anything. He's not a corner cutter. He's not somebody that you kind of wonder, you know, if you're in my business, you hear lots of people that are going to hire 10,000 people. He simply says something and then does what he says he's going to do. I think it's important to make a distinction too, because we're in a position now, matter of fact, last week, Katie of our staff sent out a proposal to the state of California for a company that's going to hire 150 people. It was Project Yellow Shoes. They're very clever. They have these code words that they use. But we didn't know what Project Yellow Shoes was, but we're the kind of folks that are looking for jobs at anything. Of course, if we were announcing Project Yellow Shoes today, everybody would be particularly excited because it would be a new company coming to the town. When I got to thinking, though, about the 150 jobs that are going to be created here, I'm actually a lot more comfortable with somebody like Jack, who's been in this business for 50 years. This corporation has been in town for 20 years. He does what he says he's going to do, And that's something you don't always know with a new company. In fact, we had an industry recruitment program several months back, and it was a company called Faraday. They didn't disclose who they were, but they talked to us, and I'm always happy to get a meeting. They ended up going to North Las Vegas, primarily because the state of Nevada gave them a check for $346 million, something to be a little hard to replicate in the state of California. Although if you go to look at their site in North Las Vegas, you'll find that they did grade it, but that's as far as they got. It never happened. These jobs are going to happen. And so with that, let me introduce the president of Lancaster, Jack Cole.
Good morning, everyone, and I want to thank you personally for braving the elements and coming. Some of you had to come all the way from the valley and elsewhere, but wasn't one of the better days that we've had here in the valley, but obviously I think we all know how important the water is. One of the first things Vern mentioned, we have actually, just going to change it a little bit, 510 employees today that work in our 110,000 foot manufacturing facility, and also our 30,000 foot customer service facility. We have some of the, these are our primary supervisors. I'd like you guys to walk up here real quick. Please, come on up. I know they're very shy. Come on over here. It isn't easy to run a manufacturing facility with 500 people. We finish 14 units a day off of the assembly line. Each one of these guys is responsible for anywhere from 100 to 15 people. So without these supervisors and the leads below them, we wouldn't be able to get the quality work done that our customers expect and we want to produce for our customers. So I'd like to have a big round of applause for all the work that they do here. Thank you. Lance has been in business for 52 years. Vern mentioned we're starting our 52nd year and our 20th year here in the Valley. I can contend, after being part of this company for 51 years, there isn't any better place in California to run a business than in Lancaster. In 1987, when we first bought property to expand here, one of the main people behind the effort, along with the whole city council, was Vernon Lawson. And Vernon Lawson, almost 30 years ago, is still here, still doing the same thing that he's always done, which is promote the community, promote the area for employment. And he's been I can't tell you how many times over the last 20 years we've called Vern and say, can we do this, can we do that? And he's always on it, and it really makes a huge difference in our ability to get things done. So I want to thank everybody at the city, Mark Bazagian, Jason, they're absolutely phenomenal. So, and when you're running a business and things come up, you need to have somebody out there to listen and give you a hand and help you out. We have a lot of different product kind of laid out here today. Our 20 years in the Valley hasn't been without its struggles. In 2007, 8, and 9, the company, we had just under 500 employees in 2007, and by 2009, we were down to 124 people. And that was because of the Great Recession. We just couldn't cut fast enough. We couldn't sell any of our projected product, and it was very hurtful to have to terminate people and run the company down. At that time, we were just building the truck camper here. But shortly after that, by 2009, we decided we needed to diversify and get into more product, and that's when the travel trailer was created. in 2009. Today, this is the number 5 selling product in California. There's 220 brands imported into California. This product is number 5. And that all happened. We started out at the bottom and worked our way up. So this has been a huge element in the growth of the company. And almost 10 years ago, we were thinking about expanding because we were at maximum production. And that's when the recession hit. Last year, because of the popularity of the trailer and the camper, our sales grew so fast that we decided we needed to do something right away. This building was available, and we purchased it in November, and it's going through a restoration period. It's got to have a brand new roof put on it. As you can see outside, we're doing landscaping and painting, and we want this facility to reflect the quality of the people and the product that we're producing here. It's really important to us that we do that. But looking around, Marv mentioned the Mobile Command Center. If it wasn't for him, that wouldn't be a Lance product. Marv insisted that before the city went outside of the area to buy the product, that he check out to see if there would be anybody locally that would be interested in doing it. We are very proud of that project, and we hope that it fits the bill for the Sheriff's Department and the booster committee that purchased it. On the far end of the building, you'll see a lot of Ford pickup trucks. Those all came from Mike Johnson Ford as part of a project that we have a contract with Cruise America. Last year, we started building truck campers for Cruise America. Cruise America is the largest RV rental company in the United States. And at one time in the 90s, they had 1,500 truck and camper packages. With the recession, those all went away. And last year, they decided they wanted to get back into that business. It was a good business for them, so we built 100 truck and campers, and this year we're building 40. They have a goal to get back up to 1,000 units over the next few years. So we're very proud of the Cruise America relationship, and it's brought more business into the community, not just for Lance, but for Mike Johnson, and we like that. On the far right-hand side, you'll see a special vehicle that we built was for Hellwig. This project was to be built and specifically for the last year's SEMA show, and it was a big hit at the SEMA show, and it's being campaigned by Hellwig at shows and sporting events all over Southern California. So they'll be showing that unit. That was a specialty vehicle that was built up for them. You know, when you get really slow, you'll do anything, anything to keep everybody busy. And the positive part of that is when things start to go back up, all of a sudden, you know, you got trailers to build, you got toy haulers to build, you got some specialty vehicles to build, and you get really busy. And then you end up with situations like this where we need to expand, and we have acted on that. We're very excited about the future. The RV industry this year will be at its peak. There'll be over 400,000 units sold this year, in 2016, and that's a record year for the industry. And they're looking for another 3 to 6% increase in 2017. And Lance wants to be in a position to take advantage of as much of that as possible. As far as, you know, some numbers, we've been here for 20 years, and we've built just under 55,000 units. We will, as a company, we will eclipse 100,000 units in the next year and a half. So as a total number of production. So I appreciate everybody being here. It was really nice of you to come. In 5 months, this building will be full of CNC equipment. This is high technology manufacturing. It's not the kind of manufacturing that other RV companies have employed, but we've embraced it and we really like it. It gives us a much higher quality product. And in 5 months, you're all invited back again to come and see what the business end of this building is going to look like. So thank you so much. Appreciate your time and your support.